can see the way they hate. And I know better than to listen to the people who are calling us names. I can feel the sunlight shining.
Well, good morning and welcome to episode 880 of the Lots Project Morning Show, where the coffee's strong, the opinions are stronger, and everything is always filter free. I'm Brian, your host, and it's March 23rd, 2026. This morning, I'm enjoying a fresh cup of medium light Guatemalan from foodforestfarms.com because life's too short for shitty coffee. At Food Forest Farms, your beans are roasted by real human hands using a clean stream air roaster. More than just a customer, your family. Get 10% off with code LOTS10. That's LOTS10, and shipping is always free. While you're there, check out the C4 Club for even more awesome perks. Today we got another packed show, making more cabin progress, even if it doesn't feel like it. The return of military recruitment commercials, the USPS Memphis black hole striking again, and plenty more. So grab your coffee, smash that like button, and let's get started. Good morning. Good morning. How's everybody doing today? Good morning, Rewilder Life. Thanks for stopping in, digging out of all that snow up there. Or did the weather warm up and everything melting now? But whew, hot coffee. Just refilled the cup before we started. Got that medium light Guatemalan. Talk about the rest of my coffee order in just a little bit, along with the USPS. Cool morning this morning. Cooled off a little bit. Yesterday it was. It's been toasty here in Tennessee. I know last week we were talking about the wood stove being on, the winter weather returning with overnight lows in the 20s and highs in the 40s and all of that jazz. And then how quickly it changes the last few days. I think yesterday we hit 90, and when we laid down to go to bed last night, it was still over 80. So nice and cool this morning. I think it's down in the 60s now. We're only supposed to get up into the 60s today for a high for the beginning of the week, and then back up into those 80s and 90s. So that Tennessee spring weather is here, where it could be anywhere from freezing to 100 degrees and humid. Just depends on the day and the hour of the day too. So lots of stuff popping, lots of stuff growing. So excited about that. Like I said in the intro, got things to talk about. We had some cabin progress this week. We also had some planning, which always makes it feel like not much gets done, but we finished up a project and setting the course for some more coming up. Corey and I made some observations while watching some stuff on Amazon Prime last night, and then tracking my coffee order. Oh man. a little upset about that one, but everything will work out in the end, I'm sure. Why don't we get to that Bitcoin price guessing game every week? We throw up morning, Mike's Homestead. Thanks for stopping in. We throw guesses at the Bitcoin price during the show over in the Telegram group at t.me/lotschat. That's t.me, the letter t.me/LOTSCHAT, lots chat. If you head on over there and check out the Telegram app, join the group. Every week I pin a post, and you can reply to that post with your guess for the Bitcoin price on Monday morning about 6:06 to be exact. 6:06 today. We got the Bitcoin price of $68,806. $68,806 at 6:06 on 3/23/26. Whew, that's a lot of sixes. Anyway, we put the guesses, and the person that comes closest wins absolutely nothing except bragging rights over in the Telegram group, but we do have a lot of fun with it. Oh, guesses this week, guys. I don't know. I don't know if the group is collectively tanking, if Bitcoin is going the way against normal conventions or what. But holy crap, last week I won. I remember that. I made my guess again. I held steady. This was the guess I won with last week at 72,654. I let it ride. I was thinking that it'd probably be pretty stagnant this week in Bitcoin. Everybody else came in with their guesses, and they were all high. And I don't mean smoking the doobies. I think that their prices were a little high. Let's take a look at them, and then we'll see who won. Scrambling in with a guess 81,500. He was the furthest off. Canadian Farmstead 78.5. Blueberry, Texas 78.4. Playing the little Price is Right game there. John Palmer 76,543. Oh, 76,543. Chris Dixon 75,326. Thesia Alice 74,200. Those guesses were all up well into the 70s. Bitcoin still stuck down in the 60s there. My guess, like I said, I let it ride at 72,654. And our winner this week by default, I don't know if we can really call, I mean, I'll call Pip a winner just because Pip's a winner. But in the guessing game, I think he won by default. He just had the lowest of the high guesses. Pip with the guess of $71,894.20. Pip in with the win. Congratulations, Pip, on winning the Bitcoin guessing game contest for this week. And for the second week in a row, I'm going to roll with my guess for next week. Not even going to erase it. Not going to write anything new up. We're going to go with 72,654 for the Bitcoin guessing game contest that will commence on, well, I guess it'll finish on commencement speech. Yeah, that would be the commence. Does that mean to begin or mean to end? Interesting. Commencement. I don't know. My vocabulary isn't what it used to be. But anyway, that guessing game contest we'll talk about that on March 30th, 2026. March 30th, 2026. If you want to get in on the guessing game, head on over to the Telegram chat at t.me/lotschat and join up the group. Have a great time with us. We got a couple dozen people that are pretty regular active over there, and we have a good time busting balls, joking around, and sharing lots of good information also. So come on over, have some fun with us, get in on the guessing game. All right, let's see. It was a week, guys. It was like I said, beginning of the week, it was pretty chilly. Spent Monday was office work catch-up day. Tuesday was laundry day. Got out to the property on Wednesday. Had obligations Wednesday, Thursday for working around the general property, not on the cabin. And so, yeah, got to Friday. Corey had the day off, and we got back at it. It had been almost a week since we had worked on anything. Our goal for the day and really hopefully for the weekend, hopefully it didn't take that long, but our project we wanted to get done was to get our last exterior door installed. We had all our windows installed, one of the two doors installed, and we were just had finished the deck up to where we had I guess access to install that last door. It's about 4 feet off the ground where we were going to be installing it, and the scaffolding we had was a little too high, and doing it from the ground or from ladders would have just been a nightmare. And the reason I say that is, the one that we did prior that had our covered porch as something to stand on when we were installing that exterior door, that one was just a pain in the ass. The in and out to kind of square it, to level it. We needed to use some extra spacers and things like that to accommodate the building, how we're building things. It was a lot of kind of figuring and a lot of messing around, a lot of dicking around with that last door. And I really didn't feel like doing that up on a ladder with Corey on the inside of the cabin holding things, or on the outside trying to help me hold things, adjust things, shim things up and down and around and trying to do it all. It was just, it didn't sound like a pleasurable experience on a couple ladders. And so we made that decision a few weeks ago to go ahead and build a small deck on that side of the house. And then basically we would be at the right level to install the door. So that's how it worked out. We finished the deck, and that was last week. I talked about it on the show last week, I guess 2 weeks ago now. And so this week's goal basically was to install the door. And like I mentioned, we did a lot of dicking around with it on the last one we put in. We learned enough, but again, you never know. And the more videos I watch about installing pre-hung exterior doors, the more I see that everybody has fun with them. That even the pros, even the people that do it all the time, are like, man, these are just, they are what they are. You put it in, and you're going to shim it, and you're going to dick around with it to get it square and everything lined up. And so that's what we did, and it didn't go too bad. I don't do enough of them, and I haven't done enough of them in my life to have my head wrapped around how everything coincides, how everything affects each other. When the door is out of whack to like the side where the top is to the right and the bottom's to the left. What I have a tough time wrapping my head around, like, if I adjust this, if it's shutting and it's hitting here, it's tight here, or it's not swinging right, what needs to change. And looking at it and adjusting it's just slow going and back and forth. And also, when I did my rough openings for my doors, they were just a little too big. I thought I had heard the guy at the lumber store tell me what the rough opening was, and I think I went a half an inch bigger on each side. So that's just well, I went with what he said, and I think what he said was a half an inch bigger on each side than what it actually was. So lots of shims, lots of open space, and lots of room for movement. So it doesn't it makes it a little harder. Good morning, Hunter. He says, wow, that notification was late. Oh, Twitch not treating you right. You are the one that I keep up the Twitch feed for. So if you stop showing up, then anyway, got the door set in, got it figured out that we were good to go. We had to build up the floor plan. The floor pan. We got it to kind of where we knew it was going to set in the opening left or right fine, up and down. We had to put our spacers on the outside of the structure to accommodate for the different purlins and girts and things that are going to be there. And so we got that all squared away, got it set in there, kind of messing around with it before we started attaching anything, and it was swinging good. Got it screwed in, got it kind of, didn't take too long. I was kind of impressed. It shimmed up really nice, and it was working fine. Got it screwed together, and then we went to put the doorknob in, and we had bought the same doorknobs and the same deadbolts for both doors. We had installed both of them in the first door and went to install the doorknob in the second door. And as I was taking it apart, as I was taking it out of the package, getting ready to put it together, something didn't seem right with it. I put a lot of doorknobs in, a lot of deadbolts, and a lot of that over the years. And like, I understand how it works. And they're all a little different, but basically the same concept. You take them apart and then you slide them together with a door in between, and everything hooks together and it works. It didn't seem like it came apart very well. I remember the other one had this little kind of slide lock mechanism where you slid it and pulled it apart, and it was sticking. It didn't really release the way it was supposed to come apart. But I thought maybe it was just the way I had it in my hands, the way I was holding it. It just wasn't lining up right. I didn't know. Went to put it together, got it to go together. Had some things where it was like, man, I got to adjust this a little bit to get it to go back together. It wasn't lining up. and get it together, get screws in it, and went to latch it, and it latched, but there was something really off. The doorknob was like clicking and sticking in one spot. Uh, so we went with it. It was what we had. It is what it is, kind of thing. Not really happy with it. Probably I'm going to end up taking it apart, taking it back, and getting a new one. But I think something's off on the inside of that doorknob. I when I take it apart before I take it all the way to Lowe's and exchange it, I'll take a look inside to see if I can see anything that maybe got maybe the latch mechanism got slid off a little bit or something. There's a few adjustments in there that could have been made that possibly could make it do what it's doing. But it is what it is. It locked. It shut. It closed, and it latched. So it's good enough for now. But basically, when you go to turn the handle, there's like a hesitation, a click in it where it's stuck, and then it releases. Corey had a point where she was trying to lock the doorknob and unlock the doorknob, and it the switch the lever that you use to lock the doorknob was on the unlock position, and the doorknob was actually locked, wouldn't turn. She put it to lock and then unlocked it, and then it worked. So Rewild Their Life says the new doorknobs are trash. Okay, well, that makes me feel better. Because it'd been a while, probably been 10 years since I had installed one. And over the years, between maintenance jobs at work and different things like that, and then along the way in my personal life and doing side hustles and things like that, I've done a lot of doorknobs. Oh, yeah, a lot of doorknobs. And I never really thought that there was anything to it. They always seem to be pretty smooth, and it's a pretty simple design. And I don't know. But the deadbolt we got is also an interesting thing. It's an interesting concept. Basically, it's got a keypad on it. We were hoping to get a doorknob with a keypad on it, but I don't know. When Corey was looking through them, she didn't like the colors or something on the doorknobs. I don't remember why we went with the deadbolt keypad and not the doorknob keypad. But anyway, the deadbolts that we got have the numeric keypad on the outside. And I think we were just like, we just won't lock the door handle unless we're leaving for whatever. And we can just use the deadbolt keypad instead of a key. It's really weird. So you got a knob on the outside of the deadbolt with a keyhole in the middle, and then the digital keypad above it or below it. I think it's above it. And then on the inside, you have like the little paddle handle that flips back and forth to put the deadbolt out and in, and which you would think that the handle on the outside is for the same thing. Works up from the inside. Normally you flip it, you flip the handle, and the deadbolt comes out. You turn the handle back and the deadbolt retracts. On the outside, the knob just spins. It spins and spins and spins. It does nothing. It's like freewheeling around the cylinder with the key. So then if you either put the key in and turn the key, or you hit hit your code, it locks the knob so that you can turn it. So it doesn't actually unlock the lock. It grips the knob on the outside, so now that it actually does something. And I was like, that's weird. It's weird. Oh, Rewild Their Life, who does work in brand new construction homes quite a bit, says I've seen so many broken ones on brand new homes. It's crazy. Okay, well then I don't feel like I'm thinking, how the hell does a doorknob show up broken out of the box? Like, this has got to be one of the things that you would think is one of the least broken out of the box items. The fucking doorknob. And it wasn't even one with electronics in it. the deadbolt was the thing with the electronics in it. So it wasn't even the doorknob. How are we getting this bad out of the box? So anyway, that is one of my goals this week. When I don't have Corey's help, when I go out there and just kind of open it up and take a look and take my time and inspect it, see if I can figure out what's wrong with it. Other than that, I talked to the lady at Lowe's when we were there this weekend to buy some plants. And I said, hey, I don't have a receipt. It's been, a few weeks or a month. I got this doorknob. Can I bring it back and just exchange it for the same thing? I don't want cash back. I don't want store credit. I just want the same doorknob. And she's like, oh yeah, it shouldn't be a problem, especially if you have a Lowe's account. So get your Lowe's account, even if you don't want the little $5 rewards that I constantly get during this project. Definitely helps with the returns and lost receipts and things like that. So either gonna get a new doorknob or fix the one we got, and that is that. So other than that on the cabin, we didn't get a whole lot of physical work done, but we did get a lot of planning done, kind of set some things. Let's see. We got final measurements for metal trim, both the trim that's going to get installed before the main metal and then the edge trims, the quarter trim. So got all that measured out. I need to tally that up and talk to the metal guy and get that ordered. Figured out if we want to order it all at once, if we want to order the trim and then sections of the metal. I'm not really sure yet how we want to do it. There is some caution from the manufacturer about buying it and storing it, how you store it, how long you store it before you get it on the wall, and some rusting issues and things like that can happen along the edges if it's stored improperly for too long. And so we're kind of trying to figure out what our timeline is about getting how much we can get installed at a time, or if we can figure out how to store it and make it work for us. So kind of going back and forth on that. We also started measuring for tank pads for our water storage. That water storage actually took a little bit of a possible turn in the last week or two. I'm thinking we might have access to a spring right on the property, possibly. I have to walk it back, but started exploring a little bit and found a pretty good spring flow that if I think so, I got to follow it back. I got to walk it back, and that's something I'm going to do this week. I think if I walk the spring back, I think it's going to end up coming out of a little gully that's next to our cabin build site, which would be phenomenal. Be able to pump it up the hill, no problem, close enough to where that changes our water storage amounts that we want. And then also looking through storage tanks, man, I found a deal. I'm hoping that it stays for a while, but found a deal. I was kind of targeting modular 3,000 gallon tanks. I was hoping to buy one 3,000 gallon tank to start out, which would be plenty to function on, definitely with rainwater and probably borderline okay for the long run. With access to the spring we know we have. So down the road, down the easement road a little bit, there's a spring that we can pump out of that I would be able to top off our main storage tank. Say if it doesn't rain for an extended period of time, if our water goes bad or whatever the fact may be, we could dump it. If it's going dry, we can transfer water. We're set up to do that. We've been set up to do that since we took off in the RV. I got a poly tank that fits in the back of the truck that, it's 70 gallons at a time, but it's doable. I got a pump hooked up that runs off the truck battery and we intended to do that while boondocking. So it's not a big deal, transferring water. So getting started, we were hoping to put a 3,000 gallon tank and then upgrade to 6,000. And that was kind of where I was going to settle on for our long-term storage. With the amount of rainfall we get here, with the usage that Corey and I are going to use, the fact that we're going to be catching rainwater off of every structure on the property, we kind of settled on 6,000 gallons would be appropriate. As I started looking at tanks, I thought I had found the best deal per gallon on a 3,000 gallon tank. It turns out I found 2,500 gallon tank at a killer deal. The price per gallon is way better, and so I started looking at storage amounts, and this was before I found the possible spring head. I said, well, I could start with a 2,500. That'll still work with that same initial 3,000. It'll work the same way. 500 gallons less is you know, it is what it is. We can deal with that. Next, for the price difference, it was definitely worth it. Then adding in a modular system like we were going to, adding a second tank gets us to 5,000. Now, 5,000 gallons with the rainwater, with the spring down the road is probably good enough. I put that in the probably. We probably won't ever run out of water. Maybe in an extreme drought or unforeseen circumstances, 5,000 gallon storage wouldn't be enough. And so ultimately end goal would be 7,500, but that would be long down the road. And that would be like, that would be the prepper storage on top of the prepper storage. Really, I think a setup with 5,000 would be plenty, and 2,500 to get started would be fine. Now with this spring, if that is developable to where I can easily pump water to the property without having to transfer it with the truck, I think 2,500 will be that kind of stasis. Like, we'll buy a 2,500 tank, we'll have 2,500 gallons, but we'll also have on-demand spring water at the property, and then a second 2,500 would be our kind of prepper emergency storage, and totaled out at 5,000. We'll see. I got to see where that spring goes, but anyway, so we were planning a tank pad. Yeah, you got to put pad underneath the tank because you got to prep a pad to put under the tank. 2,500 gallons at 8 pounds a gallon is pretty heavy. They're pretty heavy tanks. Besides the fact that they're like 400 pounds for the tank. So you get all that water in there. You want to have a surface for it to sit on that's kind of prepared for it. Want some extra room around the edges, need some room between the tanks to kind of do maintenance, get between them and everything. And so we needed to plan out our pads, trying to figure out if I wanted to do one pad for all the tanks at one time, doing bulk gravel delivery, something like that, or if I want to build 3, 2, or 1 individual pads at a time, and where to put them. The tanks, 2,500 gallon tanks, are 8 foot wide, 8 foot tall, and it kind of blocks the view. It's not like something you're hiding. Even with our cabin deck floor 4 foot off of grade, it's still 4 foot above the windows of these tanks that are going to sit there. So trying to picture those, where we wanted to position them around the house, where they're close enough to easily plumb the rainwater into it, easily plumb the water back to the house for use, but get it away from the house far enough and in the right position that it's not blocking a perfect view out the window or something like that. So Corey and I strategized about that yesterday. We kind of found our spot where we're going to go if we do 1 tank or 2 tanks, and then I really think the third tank, if it's needed, will be kind of off to the side a little bit and run through a pump system, because that's going to be definitely emergency water if we even have to get to that 7,500 gallon level. So we will see. Got that plotted out. So trying to plan out how much rock that is, how much work that is, whether I want to try to find a skid steer, find some equipment to level that, to make the pad for it. So with an 8-foot diameter tank, we're looking at like a 12 by 12 pad for each tank. Add them on together. There you go. You got, if we're going to put them in a single line, you got 12-foot wide by 24-foot long. And for the pad, going to go probably 10 inches thick, with some crushed gravel, and compacted every couple inches, like you would compacted a base for something to sit on. So it's a lot of rock. It's a lot of digging, a lot of leveling, and I think with a piece of equipment, it would go way faster. But we'll see. We'll see what's in the budget. We'll see who's available, what kind of equipment's available, and get it done. So most likely going to be getting a load of rock in with a dump truck and going from there. But we will see. We will see. And then the tanks that I found are actually available locally, so I'd be able to go pick one up with the new trailer we picked up. So excited for that. So on the horizon with the cabin, we're going to be looking at ordering our trim, ordering our metal, getting that on site, putting together a plan for getting that up, because the girts that I'm putting under the metal are not pressure treated. They will be covered in the end, but I don't want them on the structure and exposed to the weather right before we put the metal on. So we're coming up with a plan to where the purlins go on, the trim goes on, the metal goes on, and we only work ahead as much as we can get done before we know there's going to be significant rain, or any rain, hopefully at that point. But so significant rain is the big thing for us. So lots of things in the works, and lots of things that kind of have to coincide together. And I'll be clearing solar field and tank pad areas until we have materials. So we will see. We will see how things go. Happy with the progress. Wish it was going a little faster, but understand, we are doing this by ourselves. We're doing it, both of us. This is the first time we both build the cabin, and it is what it is. It is what it is, and I think we'll be happy with it in the end. So let's move on. Let's move on the list. Let's see here. Corey and I noticed something yesterday. So we're watching. So we picked up Netflix for a few months. We're dropping that again. We watched the things we wanted to watch. There's some TV shows out there that we wanted to rewatch. I think Breaking Bad was one of them. A couple others that we kind of binged through in our evenings. And we've gotten to a point where we're searching and thinking, holy crap, $20 a month for this is not worth it. We already have Prime for the Prime delivery, so we've kind of switched back to Prime, canceling the Netflix account. For now, I'm sure something will pop up that we want to watch, and we'll fire it back up at some point. But for now, we're back over watching strictly on Prime. And Corey found a new show. I think it was yesterday. Yesterday we started watching it. It's called The World's Greatest. Let me see. Let me get the right name here. I'm pretty sure it's The World's Greatest Escapes with Morgan Freeman. History's Greatest Escapes with Morgan Freeman. Actually, we're watching the first episode. I didn't catch the title, and I was like, "Is that Morgan Freeman? That dude's looking old." I know he is. I remember he was old when I was young, and now I'm old, so that got to make him old. But anyway, I was looking at it. I was like, "Is that Morgan Freeman, or is that just someone that they found that looks kind of close and sounds eerily like him?" And Corey's like, "No, it's him." And then I find out that his name is actually in the title of the show. But History Channel, History's Greatest Escapes is about escapes. Weird. It's mostly been prison escapes. There's been a couple of POW camp escapes and things like that, but mostly prison breaks and famous prison escapes. Started with Alcatraz, the the prison you can't escape. They talk about the one possibly successful attempt. But then they go through a bunch of other prison breaks where they basically break it down to where they show the idea, how the guy came up with the idea, the tools and systems that he used, the people that helped him, how the escape went down, and then the aftermath of the manhunt and capturing. And it's been really interesting. One of the prisons was Elmira Correctional Facility, where kind of close to where I grew up, about 40, 50 minutes from where I grew up. One here in Tennessee, Alcatraz, like I said, they also did one on El Chapo, the Mexican drug lord that basically escaped prison, I think 3 or 4 times. Can't remember. The whole episode was showing all the different times he escaped from prison. But man, some things that I noticed, the people tunneling. Tunneling seems to be the go-to method to get out of jail. If you're in jail, if you're headed to jail soon, keep in the back of your mind that tunneling is probably going to be your best bet, or finding a way into the ventilation system or the utility chases. Those seem to be the easiest ways. I shouldn't say easiest, the most common ways folks are getting out of prison. But I'm watching these things and seeing the tools these guys are using and the materials that they're going through. Like I broke concrete in my life. I've dug different styles of dirt, and I'm using equipment that is designed for it. I'm using powered equipment or specific stuff that's designed for the materials they're using. And these guys are using like sharpened spoons to chip away concrete and dig through foundations and things like that. And I'm like, these guys are insane. I can't imagine. I don't ever want to imagine. I've never been in prison. I've never been a POW. I've never been in prison in the U.S. I've been arrested a couple times, but it never spent more than a few hours in jail. And I wasn't going crazy enough to try to tunnel out. But I'm trying to put myself in a situation where I look at a spoon and I look at a concrete wall and say, this is what it is. I suppose if I was going to be in for life, a lot of these guys are lifers. They're trying to get out. Yeah, I don't know. I'm gonna dig through this concrete wall with this sharpened spoon. It just seems like a losing battle, but man, somehow they persevere through it. I've seen lots of procuring different tools, and they kind of showed the way they smuggled things in or got around security. It's been an interesting show. I would say interesting. It worth the little bit of time that it takes to watch an episode, I would say. So you should check out the history's greatest escapes. But one thing that Corey and she actually mentioned it, and I had kind of thought it when I first noticed it, and then it just kind of faded away. And then Corey mentioned it too, and so I was like, okay, well, it wasn't just me. It wasn't just my overactive noggin. Corey noticed it also, but I don't think it's because we're back on Prime. I think it might have to do with the climate in the country now. But we noticed that there's an uptick, and it seems like a targeted campaign. Hopefully not for me, but the old commercials of the military recruitment commercials, with a little twist, a little change. It seems to be all military now. The commercials we're seeing on Amazon right now are military, are service branch agnostic. Basically, they say, we're joining the military. Worried about telling mom and dad about the fact that the kid wants to join the military, and showing how much advancement and how much education they can get and things like that is in the back of my mind going, yeah, education on how to fly to Iran and shoot brown people. but they show them working on engineering projects and all this stuff. And I remember when I was a kid, and Corey said the same thing. The old Marine commercials, where they're riding in the knights of armor or the suits of armor on the horses, and they'd come around in the swords, and then it was all of a sudden they pan to a Marine in his dress blues and doing his thing with his sword. And yeah, I remember those commercials. And the Army, are similar Army ones. It seems now that they're military branch agnostic. They just say, mom and dad, I'm joining the military, and it's not specific Army or Navy or Marines. But why now? Why all of a sudden are there commercials encouraging young folks to join the military? I don't think history's greatest escapes is something that a bunch of teens in their 16 to 18 years old, where they're considering life options, and they're gonna think about joining the military, and they got to have that tough conversation with mom and dad. And that's what these commercials are targeting, basically, is I know it's the right decision. Like there's a series of them we've seen them with different kids, and basically they're rehearsing, talking to their mom and dad about wanting to join the military, and then they go in and do it. But just an odd timing. I remember it back in the 90s, and again, sending people to the same area of the world. But we'll see if they continue. Maybe the military got their advertising budget renewed, and that's why the commercials popped up all of a sudden in our feed, or maybe they're pushing it out to spur recruitment and favor good relations with the public with the military. I don't know, but just an observation. So check out history's greatest escapes, and keep an eye out for more military recruitment videos. In the end, have you been seeing them in the shows that you're watching on the maybe video ads on YouTube? Are they rolling those out now too? I don't know. One thing going on right now, I got to tell you, is it's time to get comfrey in the ground. Comfreyroots.com is your place to get backing for root cuttings for growing your own comfrey patch. Orders are picking up. It is spring. If you want to get yours in the ground, if you can get a shovel in the ground, it's a good time to plant comfrey. Get yours ordered up from comfreyroots.com. They ship out every Monday, freshly dug and in the mail in the same day. So you want to check those out. Comfrey Roots. Comfreyroots.com, COMFREY roots, comfreyroots.com. Yeah, sales are picking back up. So Hunter says, on my tubs is an entire ant pile right now. Are your plants dead? Are your comfrey plants dead to where your you got ant piles on your comfrey? Oh, the plants are thriving. It's got a big ant pile on it. Oh, okay. They can coexist, I'm pretty sure. Other life says, because that group of people, politicians and government, are out of touch. They are out of touch. I really, I do feel that. Oh, Hunter says the plants are thriving, but the ants there bite. I know about the ants biting there. Do you remember my battles with the ants? You need to get yourself a St. Bernard and a slobber bucket, and that will definitely drown the ants. Definitely drown the ants and take care of the ant hills. fire and otherwise. But yeah, I don't know, man. I think orange oil or something to that effect. That orange oil in the anthill was that a solution for ants? I don't remember. Uh, let me see. Oh, USPS. Oh, Hunter says people asking if I'll cast the hill in aluminum. That's cool. Those videos are pretty cool. Corey and I on our walk had been watching an anthill develop on the edge of the road, and somebody swerved to get I don't know, somebody coming at them, but it looks like the tire track went off the edge of the road and basically plowed the half of the anthill in half, and you could kind of see some of the interior structure that hadn't collapsed from the tire crushing it. But Mike Homestead says yes, I'm pretty sure that's to the orange oil thing. But aluminum, molten aluminum, I think likely has the same effect as orange oil. Maybe. I don't know. Maybe the ants like it. Maybe it's good for them. A little aluminum in your diet. Man, USPS is an absolute shithole. In the same week, I see the new Postmaster General, who, by the way, has plenty of ties to FedEx, but saying that the USPS is running out of money. They're over budget. Weird. They haven't made they have lost money every year since, I don't know, like 2007 or prior. Saying they'll be out of money by the end of the year. That continuing in 2027. God, that's hard to say. 2027, they won't be able to deliver mail anymore, and blah 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 blah. This system's been just a fucking shit show for. I try to remember back when I was a kid, if we had the problems with the post office, and I don't specifically recall, and I don't recall my parents like losing their shit over the post office as much as people do now. In the little bit of research I was doing about the post office losing money, it really says that the main driver is electronic communications, emails, just people not mailing shit anymore. So the volume isn't there for them to make a profit. I think there's definitely, bless you, Corey. I think there's definitely other reasons, government in general. But there's plenty of reasons why the post office runs out of money. One of them is probably dissatisfied customers. I'm dealing with a package right now, and I looked this morning, and I set the stuff up yesterday when my package still says it's running late. So priority mail package that I expect to show up from my coffee club, which if I run out of coffee, the post office won't be happy. But like any good prepper, I have extra to make it through the periods of uncertainty. But anyway, USPS package coming through Memphis, and this has happened to me multiple times, both coming through Memphis on the way to me and packages I mailed out on the way out of this area going through Memphis, and it's like a fucking black hole. But you never know when it's going to happen. I mean, I've had plenty of packages go through Memphis, and no problem. It stops, and then it leaves, and you get the tracking updates. You know, when every time they scan the ticket, it arrived at this time and it left at that time, and probably 95% of the time, 90% of the time, it's arrived, and within 8 to 10 hours, it's on its way through Memphis. Sometimes, though, you get the arrived at Memphis, and then it's a day or a day and a half, and then it'll get scanned, departed. And then like this time it arrives in Memphis and it never leaves. It just never gets scanned again. And it says your package is arriving late. Your package is running late, but will arrive. And the last scan is always arrived at Memphis distribution facility at whatever time, and then it never updates. I want to go and visit this place and see where all these packages are sitting, because I'm not the only one that this has happened to. I've talked to plenty of people on multiple occasions that have been caught in the Memphis black hole. I'm curious how this goes. But anyway, I did check this morning. So priority mail, I think, is guaranteed 3 days. I don't know, guaranteed, but it's supposed to be 3 days. The package was mailed out on Monday, and it'll be coming today, I think, hopefully. But with a 3 or 4 days overstay in Memphis, and then it didn't even say departed Memphis on the update. It just basically showed up at the post office here locally that it goes to after Memphis. So I don't know what happened. Last package I got from the post office was tore open. Maybe there's a reason they're losing money, or maybe it's just they don't fucking care. I don't know. I don't think the solution is bringing in someone with very close ties to one of the direct competitors, especially when the business is in trouble, and some people that he may know, and who knows, maybe he still has financial ties to FedEx, but I don't know if he really has the best interest to fix the system when FedEx and UPS and other private delivery services would stand to make a lot of money if the post office closed down. But I'm pretty sure the post office is that in the Constitution? Is it in? I think it's mandated somewhere. I want to say I could be off on that, but I'm pretty sure it's mandated along the way. I don't think the founding fathers were like, we need a post office. I think it was one of those things along the way, like the income tax. So anyway, hopefully coffee's here today. I'll run out and grab that and go find that spring head today. Blockstream Jade. I mentioned, I think it was last week or the week before, the Blockstream Jade, the Blockstream app. So the email I got from my rep at Blockstream said that the Blockstream app, and I'm paraphrasing the email, and it might have been that I read it and misunderstood it, or I don't know. But anyway, it said it was Lightning enabled now. It's not exactly. Yeah, I mean, yeah, it is. So Blockstream uses Liquid Bitcoin. Just another functionality of Bitcoin, another layered solution like Lightning. But they've transitioned the Blockstream app to where you can receive Lightning over Liquid. No, you can receive Liquid over Lightning. But the sender can send in Lightning, in sats, through a Lightning wallet, and it ends up in your Blockstream wallet as Liquid. And it can be converted in the app from on-chain to Liquid. And Liquid basically meaning has functionality like Lightning. Low fees, quick transactions, off-chain transactions. So I kind of messed around with it a little bit, sending myself Bitcoin using a Lightning invoice made in the Blockstream app, paid from a Lightning wallet. It basically shows up in the Blockstream app as Liquid Bitcoin. It can sit there as Liquid Bitcoin until fees are low, and then you can transfer it into on-chain funds. I think this is really, I mean, this is pretty cool that you can have So say you have a business, say you're a farmer at a farmer's market with a lot of Bitcoiners, or maybe not many Bitcoiners, but they want to pay with Lightning, and you want it to be saved in your cold storage. That all my Bitcoin sales from the farmers market end up in cold storage. At this point now, you can, instead of receiving it in your Lightning wallet, transferring it to say Strike, or receiving it in Strike. Strike is nice to be able to instantly convert from on-chain to Lightning, convert it to on-chain, and then send it to your cold storage in your Blockstream app. At this point, you can now just generate an invoice for the total, a Lightning invoice. They can scan it on your phone. You can send them the Lightning invoice. They pay it. It comes to your cold storage wallet. Receiving is fine without your hardware device, but once it's there, you need that Blockstream Jade hardware, that physical device, to then send it again. So once it's basically like a one-way entrance into your hardware wallet. And it can come from Lightning. You're not just waiting on-chain. You're not at the mercy of high fees. Right now, with the Bitcoin network the way it is, fees are kind of low. But we know when bull runs happen and prices go up and activity goes up, that fees go up. And it would be nice to be able to time that either daily or throughout the week, finding that low fee time to transfer your liquid funds in the Blockstream app to your on-chain funds, and it's still secured by that hardware device. So you can receive Lightning in the form of liquid sitting in your hardware wallet and protected by your hardware device. So convenient, especially for folks that are selling products for Bitcoin or stacking sats however they want. And they don't want to have to convert to on-chain to get it into that hardware wallet, into that secured environment that the Lightning wallets definitely aren't. So messed around with that. Still have some more messing around with it to do. If anybody is interested in helping me test that out, we do have some products for sale that I'm looking to try to sell for Lightning. If you want to help me out, I'd give you a pretty good discount. Currently, we're selling dog leashes, paracord dog leashes, comfrey roots, of course, and a few other things. So if you're looking to spend a little bit of Lightning and help me test out the functionality of the Blockstream app, let me know, and we'll do a trade for product for some Lightning and some testing of the new app functionality over at Blockstream. So there is that. What else is on the list? I don't know. I don't know. We're at 7, guys. We're at 7 o'clock. Looks like my list is kind of petered out here. We got some work to do out at the property. Like I said, this week, get metal ordered at a minimum, and then we're doing some clearing for infrastructure and things like that. So I'm gonna wrap it up. I got plenty to do today, and then I'm gonna try to get out there and find that spring head and get some other stuff done today. Hope you have a great week. Don't forget to head on over to the Telegram chat at t.me/LotsChat to get your guess in for the Bitcoin guessing game contest. Congratulations again, Pip, with the win. Other than that, I hope you have a great week. Get all your stuff done, and we will catch up with you again next Monday.